defensive end, Desmond Branch will have been right up for questions for student athletes.
Guys, what are your thoughts on, I know you're down about what happened, but where are you at right now?
It's tough. It's the last one you play in college. You don't know if you'll get a chance at the next level. You hope you do. But if you don't, this is the last one you play. I mean, it's tough to go out this way. Very emotional. But we didn't come ready to play, and it showed. We only scored 10 points. So, that's bottom line. We didn't come ready to play. They did. They showed it.
I would just say it's more frustration, just frustration. We felt good. We felt like we knew what we were going into the game with. Just lack of execution, lack of tackling, not getting things done when not stepping up when we needed to step up. And just it sucks that that's the last game for us seniors. And I just want to say a little emotional because this is the end of an era for a lot of us seniors. A lot of us might not make it to the league. This is one of the last times a lot of us are going to take these pads off, so it's definitely emotional. This definitely sucks.
TaQuon, you wear your kind of emotions on your sleeve, and I imagine you felt confident after that last drive at the end of the first half. You get down and get the points, and you're getting the ball back, and you feel like you have some momentum. Kind of what happened when you guys came back out to start the quarter?
I honestly really can't remember what we were running when we first came out, but I think we got a first down maybe, and then we kind of hit a brick wall and weren't really moving the ball. Then we got the punt. They held the ball a long time. By the time we got the ball back, there's maybe 5 minutes left in the third quarter. Drive it down, get a score. 55 seconds left in the third quarter. Next thing you know, you're in the fourth quarter, get the ball back, try to drive it down. They stop us on fourth down. I made a mistake on third. They get the ball, take it down, score. Next thing you know, there's 3 minutes left on the clock in the fourth quarter. We go down, try to score. A minute left in the fourth quarter. They get the ball back. All they got to do is take a knee, and they're already up by 3 possessions. So, we probably had a total of maybe five possessions that I can think of off the top of my head, and that's the whole game. We probably had less than 50 plays, and that's probably the least we ran all season.
Well, there were some things that happened in the game, like you had to burn the 2 timeouts and get a miss for your JOL. And do you think that you mentioned guys not being ready to play? Was that kind of reflect what was going on with the team? You think that you were just kind of missing some easy things that normally you guys did?
I don't think taking the timeouts or anything, or the connection or anything, has anything to do with being ready to play. They out-physicaled us from the jump. They outplayed us from the jump. And it showed from the first 2 drives offensively. It showed we didn't move the ball. 2 quick 3-and-outs, and they held the ball the whole first quarter and most of the second quarter. And then you get a little momentum going into halftime, but when you come out and you don't get any momentum back on your side, it's kind of hard to. The defense is doing, their best to try to get off the field, but if we aren't trying to give them any momentum on the offensive side, then it's kind of hard to balance it out. It's almost one-sided. They're on the field 30-plus minutes out of the game. We were on the field maybe 15.
Des, I imagine it's hard. They didn't punt in the game. That in your last college game as a defensive player, as a pride thing, that's got to be a tough sort of pill to swallow as well.
Oh, most definitely. It's just like you said, they didn't punt. We didn't. I don't even know what the punter's number is. That's frustrating. We felt that we played 2 teams that's going to college football playoffs, Clemson and Georgia. We held our own in both of those games. We had significantly better defensive run stopping in both of those games. And all due respect to Minnesota's running back, Michael Holyfield and Swift and those Georgia boys, they're a notch above, and just the defense didn't bring it. We didn't fill our gaps. We didn't tackle. We didn't make bonehead decisions, and it showed because Lord knows how many yards number 24 had. And all due respect, we didn't let Michael Holyfield have that. So we definitely we did not show what we were capable of, and I think that's one of the most frustrating parts. That we know how to play at a high level, and we did not do it this game.
What made their running back tough to stop? He had 224 though, right?
Jesus. But It was just there were wide open gaps. Like he ran very hard. He was a very hard guy to bring down, but he was hitting wide open gaps, and any running back can make those cuts and make big plays. And he's a pretty decent running back, and he had 224 yards on these wide open gaps. So
Was their offensive line what you thought they would be?
yeah, I mean, like I said earlier, like we knew what they were going to do. They were going to run the ball down our throat, and we knew it all through practice. We knew everything, and we just didn't stop it. Plain and simple. That's a game of football. You gotta understand. You gotta know what's going on, and like you have to learn. You gotta know how to stop it. And we knew how to stop it. We just didn't execute it.
Do you guys think maybe you burned up the emotion trying to get Claw out of that hole and wore yourselves out in the back end? Do you feel like you wore yourselves out in trying to claw out of that hole early in the season, and maybe that had something to do with the performance in the last two games?
No, I don't see the correlation between it. I just think we didn't bring it. We didn't bring it. That's plain and simple. We know how to execute. We know how to play at a high level. We just didn't play at it, and that's on us for not doing that, and that's on us for sending out Coach Johnson in that type of fashion. He does not deserve that. A Hall of Fame coach doesn't deserve to get hung up 220 yards by a Minnesota running back. In all due respect, it doesn't. That's shame. It's shame on us for not stopping him.
Can you guys describe it as like a monster in the game?
He appreciated how hard we fought back from the 1-3 start. Just how difficult it is to get 6 wins, to get a win in general. He appreciated all the effort. It's emotional, of course, for all the seniors, including myself. Silent. I mean, how it normally is after a regular loss, because you don't expect to practice for over a month and come to a bowl game and only put up 10 points, especially in our offense. So, I mean, guys are going to stay in there for a little bit longer than they normally would. But it's a normal locker room feel after a loss.
It's definitely silent, just time for reflection, because it's the end of an era. A lot of guys not going to put these pads on, and it's like you said, now it's going to be a long time for you guys to get out of the locker room, because when we put these pads on, some of us aren't going to put it off, and it hits you as you're taking it off, and that's the last game that you played. It's just so frustrating that this is the last game. This is what you're going to hang your jersey up on, and it's not a good feeling to sit on.
Anything else for these guys?
Like the runs up the middle, what was making that so hard to get yards?
They did a good job of slanting the 2 out, 2 and 3, and popping the B gap linebacker straight in the A gap. And sometimes we were getting them, sometimes we weren't. I mean, I think Coach Johnson did a good job mixing up his calls. We weren't getting guys down on the perimeter, which is tough. I think they did a good job of making our guys miss on the blocks. But the times we did get everybody blocked, I mean, you saw the success we had in the plays. So, I mean, it was an execution thing. Times we executed, times we did it. When we needed to execute, we did it, and it hurt us.
Okay. We'll have a couple more players out.